Hey, what's up, guys? Just gonna wait for some people to get on. Not much to really talk about this time. Work's been going good. Keeping an eye on social media to see who's gonna be. Hey, one viewer, let me know who you are. Say hi. Tonight's beverage of choice for me, twisted tea, peach flavor. So, well, me and my stupid self, excuse me. So, like an idiot, Lenny and I decided to do this live stream a little differently this time. And this isn't the stupid part. I allowed Lenny to actually take the notes on this one, on these two episodes. I did a little bit of research on my own, but nothing too deep into it. But I allowed Lenny to take the notes on these two episodes. And then, like the dummies we are, he went to work today and he took his notes with him. So here I am sitting basically with my cell phone, my computer, and my drink, and nothing yet to talk about. I mean, I got a few things on my mind, but I'm going to wait at 6:59. I'll give it a couple minutes afterward for a few people to sign on. In the meantime, I'm just gonna ramble and check my media here, see who all's coming on. Oh, okay. So that is Casper, the creator of Rebuke, and the voice of Dr. Jared Hell. His beautiful wife. I get to say beautiful wife. That is so awesome. Congratulations again, you two. I'm so happy for you guys. But his wife Nessa, just you can have him screenshot it. I can't at the moment, Krista. He's driving home. He actually should be home any minute now. How you doing, by the way? But Casper and Nessa are driving, and the roads they're on don't have stable internet connection, but they're going to tune in later to see what's going on. So, uh, got my drink of choice for tonight. I got the twisted tea peach. So, like I said, I'm pretty much just BSing until Lenny gets home. He should be home any minute now. So, one thing I can let you guys know. Uh, As most of you know, I am no longer associated with the previous pageant that I was with. But today, sorry if you keep seeing me look out our dining room windows right there, and that's the direction Lenny comes home from. So I'm keeping an eye to see when he pulls in. But I actually got my new title today for USA Ambassador. And my new title is Mrs. Keystone State USA Ambassador 2021. That's a mouthful, and it? It's like that long of a name. So, um, my crown is going to come on Tuesday. It's okay, Krista. I actually called you a little bit ago and I figured you were busy, so it's fine. It's all good. So my crown's going to be here on Tuesday. My sash is going to be a little later arriving because they have to custom make it. So that's perfectly fine. So there may not be as many people on tonight. People are, believe it or not, starting to leave for the holiday season, heading out for Thanksgiving, vacations. I know down in Florida, they're having a tropical storm down near Tampa. I'm not sure what's going on the other side near Fort Lauderdale. And that is not Lenny. He's not driving a big old creepy box truck. So, all right. So it's 2 minutes after. I guess I can at least give a few of my thoughts. So, The first episode 5, which came out 2 weeks ago, tonight's live is going to be a double review. The Denver Brownie said, Denver Brownie. Oh my God. Oh, there's Lenny. So you were actually in that big old box truck. A big old creepy box truck just drove by, and I'm like, well, that's not you. You're not luring little kids into your van. So, okay, so you go ahead and get settled in, hon, and you can join in whenever you're ready. All right. Oh, geez. Okay, so like I said, Lenny was allowed to, well, not allowed. I asked him to listen to me acting like I own him, for crying out loud. I love you, babe. I love you so much. I'm sorry, I don't own him. I'm renting. How about it, Krista? Even though, in my opinion, the marriage license is the ownership title. Krista's on here, and Jeff's on here too. And she said the Denver Brownie says hi. I am going to abuse that terribly. So, oh, just a polite reminder, Lenny. Krista is called by Krista because they don't want their actual name out there. So just remember that, please.
Yep.
Or just say, hey, you. So, all right, guys. My husband, Lenny, looking shaggy like normal. How was work?
Good.
That's good. Just good?
Yep.
Treva is 92.
Yep.
I won't make it to 92.
I don't think the world will make it to 92.
Amen. So, all right. Do you actually want to take the reins mostly on? I'll pass it right back to me. See, look at you making me do everything.
I did the hard part.
Krista says, hi, Santa. You can read this chat room right here, Lenny. So can you see that far?
Yeah.
You mean there you go, old man. Okay. Very first sentence, Lenny writes, Dr. Carmen is a jerk. Oh my God, that's why I'm sitting here drinking. So, Casper, you'll be listening to this later on, but it's cut from the horse's mouth. Dr. Carmen is a jerk. Krista says I've been a good girl. Are you sure? So, first sentence, Dr. Carmen is a jerk. I'll cheers to that, my sir, my good sir. Okay, rumors brought to Dr. Carmen's attention by Dr. Ray Hall. Ray Hall? Rahal? Rahal. Ricola. About a teacher that has been dead for 100 years causing trouble at a local high school. So, I did do some research on the teacher. In the story, the teacher's name is Allison Collar. Is that it? Allison Collar? Alice. Okay. Alice Collar. Now, I did do a little bit of research. As y'all know, Casper, they said a lot of their inspiration for a lot of the activity in Jar of Rebuke is from their home state of Indiana. So, of course, when I hear of new cryptids or new possible leads, first thing I do is blah, blah, blah in Indiana. So I did a little research, haunted schools in the state of Indiana, and I came across a school. And of course, you know, my dumbass forgets to write it down, but there's a school in Indiana that the teacher's name was Agnes Collar, and she was the principal of that school. And she was like, oh, what, 50? Do you remember me saying it was 50 plus years? Anyway, she taught, she did die in the 80s. Couldn't find a picture or any sort of her, but it kind of fits into this story here. The only difference is Agnes Caller was the principal, and I believe possibly the founder of the school. I'm not 100% sure. Do me a favor, Lenny. Drive to Bellwood and kick Jeff's ass because look at him. Jeff said all you to say is blah, blah, blah. You know, sick him. My hellhound, but that'll come later. Okay, so why was Dr. Ray Hall not sent since he found out about you know what? We should probably write down all these characters' pronouns because now I feel silly not knowing pronouns. We'll just say they, them for every single character just to keep it safe, but I'm going to have to message Casper later on and find out whose pronouns are whose. So why was Dr. Ray Hall not sent since they found out about the rumors? And if Dr. Ray Hall knew about it, why did Jared need to talk to the principal? Thoughts on that? What's that all about, Lenny? You gonna live?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
If it's only
Well, yeah, it's rumors though, but Dr. Ray Hall is the therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist through the enclosure. So they're not a researcher like Jared is. They're just a doctor by what I know of. So, excuse me. Lenny thought Jared was only used for dangerous explorations. Unless Dr. Carmen knew that Jared used to be a member of that class when he was younger. Next sentence. Dr. Carmen is a smart ass jerk. I love you, babe, so much. I love you so much.
Oh, that was back when you were saying.
Krista says she can't hear you, so speak up, please.
Okay.
Come closer. Come sit on my lap.
No, I don't want to break your legs.
All right, try to speak up a little louder, babe, so they can hear you. Thanks, Krista, for letting us know. Jared was speaking the voicemail Dr. Carmen sent so they could make sure they would get a talk about the PTO pay time off because it wasn't the first time they asked and got deferred. Denied. Well,
deferred.
yeah, I guess deferred would be more of the situation because he never said.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, Dr. Carmen said he'd never get it. They just, said not right now, right? So Jared thought this task was menial and draining, but easy. If I had to describe ghost hunting, menial and draining would not be the two words, adjectives? Is that, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the way he said it. He said
Sounds like I'm talking in a can. I'm not sure why it would sound like I'm talking in a can. Is that better? Krista, is that better? Do I still sound like I'm talking in a can? We are now experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. Okay, still sounds like, Unfortunately, I really don't know what to do about that one. Well, I'm just going to have to resolve that this is just going to be a crappy live stream, so my apologies, technical difficulties. I swear I'm not drunk.
You're good.
I'm good now? Okay, I'm good. I swear I'm not drunk. I may be drinking a twisted tea, but this is all I've had today. I swear. So, but yeah, what I was saying though is if I had to go do a paranormal, first off, you wouldn't catch me dead trying to go anywhere near anything that's haunted. First off, I don't even do haunted attractions. I'm just not that person. But okay. Menial, draining, crazy. Joe knew where and when the principal went to the Chronicle Country Store on her lunch break. You sure you passed high school?
Yeah.
That was the most jacked up sentence I think I've ever read in my life. So, while waiting for the principal to show up, Jared talked to the owners. What does that say, Lenny? Anika?
Anika Roche.
Why do you have the A? Oh, I love you so much, babe. You're keeping me on my toes tonight. I love you. Anika Roche. Rolade, whatever. That's the principal's name. Jared met and talked to them, and Jared thought of a way to bring up the subject since it isn't normal, everyday discussion. Says them. I'll talk about paranormal stuff, but I won't.
Let me move these over the wires.
I think what we need to do, Lenny, is we need to come closer in. Good? Are we good? What would we do without the help of my bestie? Can you hear us? Okay, guys? Let us know. Okay. Here. Okay. So Jared met and talked with them, and they thought of a way to bring up the subject since it is a normal everyday discussion. But they surprised them by saying that she talked to Darius, who said Jared had an interest in the supernatural, which Jared remembered only mentioning it to him once. That just shows how much Darius pays attention to them, huh, Lenny?
Yep.
Making note of everything in the back of his brain. Ain't that nice? The principal said the teacher taught till the day she died in the 80s sometime and still haunted the school. So that comes into play. Why is that schmuck, Dr. Carmen, saying that she's been dead for hundreds of years when she died in the 80s?
He got his information from Dr. Ray Hall, and that's just rumors. So you know how rumors can go weird from one person to another.
Yeah, I believe that. I think, remember this sentence back in here that said Dr. Carmen is a smart ass jerk, Lenny? You remember writing that, right? Well, I'm going to stick by that. So she taught fifth grade. Her name was Alice Collar. They didn't want her gone. Just calm down. She was getting too disruptive. Aren't teachers just disruptive in general? And to their own certain degree? Mm. They're especially annoying when you're trying to nap. Anika asked Jared if she could go investigate that evening. Jared agreed.
What?
I am not giving you a choice. I am passing that on to you because I cannot make heads or tails of your chicken scratch.
Sooner investigation done, sooner talk about PTO.
Right.
Anika paid for her and Jared's food and went back to work. Jared stayed and ate and talked with the owners and then played phone games. Then he went to the school, into the office, and they gave him a tour of the school. About 13 rooms, all one floor. Jared got told what Miss Collar was doing. Clocks flying, janitor vacuum and lights turning on and off, footprints, empty room with desks moved and turned over, projectors pushed over. Anika asked if Jared had to wait until night. False rumor. Just quieter at night, less movement. Jared went and got his tools and went to Mrs. Collar's room. He felt more comfortable in the room, and he asked protocol questions. Then he asked about an obituary hung above the door. He went over to look at the obituary, and he felt her presence over his shoulder.
Creepy bitch. Nosy.
Then the door opened and startled Jared. A student came in and got a tablet she forgot. She was about 13 and asked what he was doing. She told him about her father, who was a janitor. When he waxed the floor and saw the footprints, he followed them to the back door, which was locked.
So I just want to put in there that part of my research turned up that the ghost of Agnes Caller was known to leave footprints. I couldn't remember if it was in the wax floors, but excuse me, she was known to. There were footprints that would be seen out the back door in the snow, off towards the direction of the cemetery, and then back in. But there was no way anybody could come and go from that door because it would always be locked usually.
Yeah. Like I said, the door was locked. He used his key to unlock it, which led to the local cemetery where Mrs. Caller was buried. The girl got her stuff and left. The framed obituary smashed on the floor. Jared picked up the obituary, but behind it was a business card from the enclosure. Jared pocketed the business card that looked older, possibly from the time frame of the obituary, which he placed on the desk. Jared asked if any information could be given him from Mrs. Caller, but the chair started to be turned toward Jared. He became the focal point. A sweet, mild smell appeared that made him feel sick. Jared looked up at the whiteboard and saw an unkept marker with the message, "Do your homework." Jared said okay, but he had to leave. He went to the bathroom and in the stall. The stall door flew open with nobody there. He left the school, and then he found out that Mrs. Caller's husband died not long before she did. He had a friend from the enclosure that was a former employee. Dr. Severin Calder was an employee with the enclosure, excuse me. There was files stating Sounder still uses. Jared said that name was familiar from somewhere. And this is just the thing that I got to thinking about afterwards. Also, how can a high school with 5th grade through 12th grade only have about 13 rooms in it? And one of the rooms was also empty.
That's a damn good question. That one even slipped past me. What is this, a schoolhouse that was built in the 1800s?
I don't know. Sounds like almost all the stuff in the town was from when the enclosure started back in the 30s.
The only reason I could think that a high school would have 13 classrooms in it is maybe this town, Wichton, is teeny tiny.
I don't know.
Population 42, something like that.
Again, in the beginning of the story, they said they just started a school too. It was for like a trade school. So this might be that same school, but still to have different class. Well, when she was in school, she taught 5th grade. That doesn't mean that it changed from then until now too. So it might be different classes in there. Different grades.
True. All right, so the next one you're going to be talking about is the episode 6, paid time off.
Jared got his paid time off. He got a week off. Holly texted him if he wanted to go to a bonfire. He said he wanted to stay in since he got the PTO.
Mood.
Holly asked if he could have a movie night. Jared said it was okay for later that week. Then when he was looking up more about that Dr. Severin Calder, he found out that he passed away 20 to 30 years ago. He worked on top secret work, which gave him some things that are on file at the enclosure, with work being done that's being done nowadays with what he was working on. It was top secret. Then he hears a scratching at the door. A dog that is black, doesn't have a collar. Jared names the dog Grove.
I keep calling it Groove. I keep calling it Groove. Groovy little thing.
Jared leaves the dog in the yard when he goes for food supplies, or dog supplies, excuse me. Jared feels comfortable with the dog. Grove likes homemade dog treats, but not wet or dry dog food. Grove acts up when the phone vibrates and gets on Jared's lap and goes after the key around Jared's neck. Jared gets him down, but before that, Grove's eyes glowed and smoke bellowed out of him. Jared realizes he has a hellhound. Grove eats raw meat. Holly has no problem with dogs for when they come over for the movie night. Jared has to research on hellhounds, how to deal with Grove, excuse me.
I got you saying it now too.
Jared had to inform Holly about the black-eyed children that came and knocked on his door. He might contact Darius later after he watches the movie and eats ice cream. And for when Jared hears this, not Jared, excuse me. When Casper hears this, I got a question for him. Is there a way a spirit can be transferred from a cemetery to an animal like a hellhound?
Hellhounds are their own entities. They're demon dogs.
I didn't know. Maybe.
You remember the Greek mythology, Cerberus, the three-headed dog of the underworld? That's a type of hellhound.
Okay.
There's many different variations of hellhounds. Most of them say they're demon dogs. They hang out in our cemeteries. Some of them are like invisible specters that just spook people. Hound of Bakersfield, Baskerville, whatever that. Y'all see how well I read Shakespeare. Sherlock Holmes, whatever. So I just want to point out that I firmly believe that the asshole on the other end of that line was Carmen. I just want to throw that out there.
I think so too.
He makes me bark at him. So, and there was something else I was going to say, but you go ahead until I think of it.
Another question that popped into my mind. We haven't heard what Darius's last name is yet. And I was wondering how far back did Miss Caller start becoming disruptive more than just doing small haunts around the school?
What does that have to do with Darius's last name?
If it's Caller, she might be mad because he might be getting a friend that she might not like.
All right. I guess I see that point. Not really, but I'll say I believe you for the sake of my audience.
Well,
I love you. I keep thinking about that. I keep thinking about Grove and black-eyed children. And
I think those children are some of the classmates he used to have when he went to school when he was a student from Mrs. Caller.
You know what's funny is I have tried to look up anything and everything on black-eyed children. Are they cryptids? Are they spirits? I cannot find a thing that explains what black-eyed children are. All I know is that people say they see them, but they never say exactly what they are. I mean, are they like shadow people? Shadow people. Bye, Krista. Thanks for tuning in when you did. But yeah, some people, shadow people. Shadow people are not dead nor alive. They're not former spirits of people. They're just beings. They're not demons, but they're not angels. They're none of that. So I'm wondering if black-eyed children would be kind of considered the same thing. So the black-eyed children still has me kind of confused, kind of random, unless it's just one of those they're just in there to make the story more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But usually, by what I have heard, now I haven't done more research on this. We've been so busy, trying to get the new car and all that. But I've mostly, in my past, I think I've heard that hellhounds are like omens. I mean, I believe they're usually omens of bad luck or bad fortune, but I'm not sure why a hellhound would bring a bad omen to Jared as far as like something very terrible happening to him. Like I said, I'm convinced that Dr. Carmen was on the other end of that phone, and I'm convinced that that dog knows something, and
Yeah.
But regardless, him's still a good boy,
Yeah.
like you. So, geez, I was thinking this was going to be an hour or two thing, and here it is. We're 30 minutes in, and we're pretty much good. They're really.
The second one was shorter and didn't take as long.
Yeah, the second one was basically just Jared talking about finding Grove. He didn't really even talk too much about his paid time off. All he said was that he was sitting home doing nothing and eating ice cream, which I must say is a total mood. Do you not agree? I'm glad we're not the only fat asses in this world that sit and eat ice cream right out of the tub. So, all right, well, that's all that we've come up with for these 2 episodes. I'm gonna do even more research because, like I said, with everything that's been going on, we had a car that died, and we had to scramble to get a new one, and then we had just a bunch of stuff going on, work, and me just being a lazy shit. Jaslyn being busy. The high school here is shut down, which don't affect us. But it's like they shut down Phillipsburg High School, and it's like, okay, we're closing the high school until December 2nd. Oh, okay, well, to heck with the elementary kids that might have siblings in the high school. I mean, what are the chances that that could infect the elementary school? But by all means, what do we know? So, all right, well, that's it for tonight. We thank everyone who tuned in tonight. If you're going to be driving, well, Casper's driving, so him and Nessa, wishing them safe travel. So, all right, guys, good night, and we will talk to y'all later. Bye.